Homeschooling is certainly on the rise for so many reasons, and I'm on board for that. I love it. I think it's exciting. But as things like this rise, even more questions come up. There's always that question about curriculum, which is, a vital part of our homeschooling journey. But another question that has really been coming up a lot is about how we parent and our parenting style, and which style really works best for homeschooling. Is there an approach that best supports a thriving homeschool experience? Or which parenting style is going to thrive in homeschool? Hi, and welcome to Learning Life. And thank you so much for joining me today. Parenting styles and homeschool. Can we do it? Is there a way to really make it work? Yes, we're going to look at really what is the most obvious choice, but also look at the others and then talk a little bit about adaptability. Stay tuned because this will uncover and this will help you in your journey. And if you've got other questions, I might have answered them already for you. So I encourage you to check out my other videos. And I thank you so much for watching, for your likes, for your subscribes, sharing with your friends, and being part of this learning life. Do you know that there are 4 main parenting styles? I know that we hear about all of these other ones and it feels like a really long list now, but there are 4 main, which some of these have other approaches that come through, branches of it, as they were. And they are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. If you want to know about these 4 and some of the others, check out the playlist below and see which style really is yours, especially if you have questions about it. Now, do I believe that any parent can homeschool if they want to? Yes. Yes, I do, regardless of their style. We want to give our time and our energy, and this is something we want to do. But there really is one main parenting style that comes across as the obvious choice. The obvious choice, authoritative parenting. It's widely accepted through sort of studies and psychologists and counselors and other things that really the authoritative parenting style aligns most effectively with a successful homeschool. But why? What is it about authoritative parenting? Well, homeschooling does require that balance of structure and flexibility, and authoritative parents know how to balance this. This is what they work towards, providing clear boundaries and expectations, which we know is great for consistent learning, and they know how to foster independence and adaptability. Now, homeschooling also does thrive on dialogue, that discussion-based learning and all of those different things, and authoritative parents do encourage open communication. They want collaborative learning, and problem solving is a big part of it too. And yes, homeschooling, we're learning all of this. It does thrive on dialogue and discussion. And authoritative parenting really does emphasize a child's well-being, their overall well-being. And we want to focus on their growth and their development. And this does align with the holistic approach that is often found in homeschooling. It's not just this is what we're learning, but we've got growth and development happening. Do you need self-discipline and self-regulation in homeschooling? Yep, you do. And authoritative parenting cultivates this. We're teaching our children to manage their own behavior and their learning. So as we look at the key aspects of authoritative parenting and how that would fit in with homeschooling, it really lines up. And so yes, authoritative parents are more likely to thrive, and our homeschooling will also do really, really well. What about the other styles? Am I writing off the other parenting styles? No, I'm not. As I said, any parent can homeschool if they want, but there are some reasons why the other styles might struggle, and you might need to adapt and change for that. So in our authoritarian, our disciplinarian, rigid rules and lack of flexibility What is that going to stifle? Creativity, love of learning. It sort of takes away from the adaptability which we need. Like authoritarian is really going to lack some of the things that homeschooling really needs so that it works well. Permissive parenting, when we're not giving boundaries, homeschooling can become chaotic. So, if we're not giving boundaries, if we're just allowing our children to do whatever, our children may struggle with motivation and with self-discipline. Is this going to lead to a good, consistent learning? It's really not. And then uninvolved parents, those that it's fully hands off, fundamentally incompatible with homeschooling. Even though I hear them say, unschooling, like the parents aren't involved. That's wrong. Parents are really involved in unschooling. It's just a very different style. But when, we're just letting our children with whatever, and there is no sort of involvement and support in there that is necessary, that one ultimately is not going to work. And, we do have some of the other approaches like our helicopter, our bulldozer parents, when we're over involved, we're going to hover, we're going to push through so that you can't fail, all of those things. It's really going to hinder the development of our children, their independent learning, which is a crucial skill in homeschooling, actually in education, but especially in homeschooling. The importance of adaptability. While authoritative parenting, does provide this strong foundation, we do have to remember that every family is unique and we have to do what works for us. Key thing that I say, but homeschooling allows for flexibility so we can tailor our approach to our children's specific needs. We can incorporate elements of gentle parenting, such as empathy, emotional coaching, and this really can enhance a school experience. Let's adapt to what is needed in those things. In homeschooling, we need to adapt our style to our children's needs, to the day's needs. Flexibility is going to be key, and it's going to maybe it'd be a day by day. Maybe it becomes something that you're changing over time, but we do have to adapt. So we're going to have to regularly reflect on our parenting style. So how am I as a parent? What am I doing? How does this impact my homeschool? And am I willing to make adjustments as needed? I would hope that we are willing to make those adjustments because then that is going to give us that thriving homeschool. Ultimately, the most effective parenting style for homeschooling is one that prioritizes a loving, supportive, sort of well-structured, in a way not routine structured, but, we've got this good learning environment. All parents can homeschool if they want to. But if we are going to embrace those principles of authoritative parenting and we remain adaptable, you really can create a thriving homeschool experience for your child. Do you have questions about this or about the different parenting styles? If you do, feel free to shoot a comment below and I would love to answer those for you. This is how we learn and grow together on this journey. And if you want to help to get these videos out there, you can do that. You can become a champion. You can check that out at patreon.com or at my website, LearningThis.Life.